In this video I'm going to quickly summarize my thoughts of the Leica CL 35mm film camera. Hello again, Matt Osborne here, MrLeica.com. This is I keep saying quick video and then it ends up being like 20 minutes long. So I'll just say in this video. In this video I'm going to quickly summarize my thoughts of the Leica CL 35mm film camera. This is a new camera to me, and in particular I'm going to compare it to a Barnack Leica and a Leica M3. So how does the Leica CL compare to a Barnack Leica, and how does the Leica CL compare to a Leica M camera? So first of all, the Leica CL. The Leica CL was a collaboration between Minolta and Leica. There's plenty of reviews on this online already, so I'll just talk about it from my first impressions and compare to other Leica cameras, because I'm fortunate enough to be able to compare to cameras which I have experience in already. So what is the Leica CL? It's basically a small version of a Leica M camera. Height wise, I'd say it's identical to the Leica M. Width wise, again, it's the same as the Leica M, but it is maybe 1.5 inches less long than the Leica M. And this is Leica M3, but all Leica M cameras are pretty much the same size for the film cameras. What's the main difference other than size? I'd say weight. The Leica M camera is probably 100 plus grams heavier. I think this is 580 maybe, and I think this one is 400, and I'll write it somewhere, or I'll do a full blog with full specifics. Basically, this is smaller and lighter than a Leica M3. Why is another good reason to buy the Leica CL? It is cheaper. The Leica CL is maybe half the cost of a Leica M3 at the time of buying them when I looked online. The Leica CL can be bought on eBay for perhaps £300, which for Leica is, I think, pretty good value. The Leica CL has a Leica M mount, which means you can mount any of your Leica M mount lenses, assuming you've got some, onto a Leica CL body. The lens I'm using at the moment is the equivalent of the Leica Summicron 40mm f2 lens, but it's actually the Minolta version. So this is the Minolta Rocker M40 f2. Another big difference between the, I'm looking at that because I've got the M over here. The Leica M cameras are designed around a 50mm lens. The Leica CL is designed around a 40mm lens. 50mm is much more common, and I go into the detail on this on the blog review itself, the MrLeica.com blog. I'll link it in the description below. The older Leicas were developed and made around a 50mm lens, because at the time it was easier to manufacture 50mm lenses. That means the Leica M camera, M3 in this example, has got a 50mm frame line when you're looking through the viewfinder. The Leica CL is quite unusual in that it has a 40mm frame line. This may be a love or hate thing. If you love 50mm, then you may not appreciate the 40mm frame lines. One thing that did surprise me, which I think goes against urban myth and my common understanding before buying this camera, is I thought the Leica CL had only 40mm frame lines and 90mm frame lines, but it's actually got 50mm frame lines as well. So you can use it if you already own a digital Leica M camera, say an M9 or an M240 or an M10, and you want to dabble with Leica film photography, and you want a cheap way into the market. The Leica CL is a very affordable way to use your existing Leica M lenses onto a smaller, lighter, cheap Leica camera body, which is lighter than your Leica M3. Now there are pros and cons, so don't assume that this is better, because it isn't. But it is nice to have a small camera. In terms of controls, it's unusual. You've got your film rewind on the bottom. I'll have to do it on another video because there's film inside, but the whole of the back section opens, and then it's a bit more like when you load film to an SLR. So film loading is extremely easy. The Leica CL has a built-in light meter, so that's an advantage over the older Leica cameras where there's no light meter. I tend to use a handheld light meter, so it makes no difference to me, but if you like a light meter, it is a built-in option, so that's good. You've got your shutter on the front, which means you can look through the viewfinder and roll the shutter, and you can see it changing in the viewfinder, which is a nice touch. The lens is a normal M lens. It's got a hot shoe, and it syncs at 1/60th of a second. First impressions, do I like the Leica CL? Yes and no. I like the size, but the rangefinder is crap. What do I mean by this? Well, two things. If you've never used a Leica before, you'll probably think this is a very nice camera. If you've already got a Leica M3, for example, and then you buy a Leica CL because it's got the word Leica on it, you can get Minolta versions, which is basically the identical camera, but this one is a Leica branded with the lights on the top. If you've used an M3 before and you're buying a CL because you love the way the build quality and the manufacturing workmanship of a Leica, firstly you'd be disappointed because Leica M cameras are metal. This is mostly plastic, I think. It's good plastic, it's nicely made, and that doesn't bother me too much. What does bother me is the rangefinder. If I look through the M3, the rangefinder patch is both deeper and maybe 1.5 times longer and much more contrasty and much brighter. That's why it's the best Leica M camera. The best viewfinder, without question. If you're used to a range, so what is a rangefinder? A rangefinder is where you're looking through the window and the pictures overlap, and that lets you focus to take a picture. This rangefinder patch is so small, and the base for the windows are very close together, which means it's less accurate for precision focusing. So if you look at the rangefinder based on this camera, look how far away the windows are on the M, and then look how close the windows are on the CL. See? That makes this much more accurate for focusing with a much better rangefinder and higher magnification, meaning it's easier to focus in simple terms. The Leica CL is good if you want a affordable, slightly lighter, slightly smaller camera which accepts like M lenses or your existing Leica lenses. It's not good for portraits and it's not good for precision work if you want to shoot lenses wide open, because I have I'm used to rangefinders, but I have zero confidence in trying to work out. It depends on the lighting. If the lighting's contrasty, it's easy to focus. If the lighting is not contrasty, it's really difficult to focus. Say at f2. If you're happy to stop the lens down to f or f5.6, or you're using wider lenses, 40mm, I wouldn't like to use a 90mm lens wide open. Say I put my 90mm Summicron f2 lens on here, I would have zero, I think, hope or expectation that I'd get the images in focus at f2, because the depth of field is so shallow and I wouldn't be able to see properly to focus. If you're buying a camera to take portraits and you like to shoot lenses wide open and you like fast lenses, your 1.4s, your 1.8s, your f2s, your f0 if you're lucky enough to have a Noctilux, don't buy this camera. If you stop down for everything, you shoot street at, I don't know, f8, f5.6, even f4, then I think it's a nice camera. It's nice to have a slightly smaller, slightly lighter M camera mount camera, and the film loading is particularly nice and very quick to do. So there's a backup body potentially, backup film body for how little the camera costs. in Leica terms, I would highly recommend it. So that's Leica CL versus Leica M. Leica M wins because they're much better rangefinder. From my personal experience, someone that likes to shoot portraits much of the time. I'm in Romania and I bought the M3 particularly because I didn't think I'd be able to shoot portraits at very narrow depths of the field with the Leica CL. So I bought this as my main camera. This is like to test because I've never used it before, and for when I didn't need such shallow depth of field. How does the Leica M camera is probably 2 times the cost of the Leica CL, so just to bear that in mind. So it's got a nice rangefinder, but you're paying twice the cost for it. So what about a Leica Barnack Leica, which is basically the very early Leicas, 1930s onwards. This is a Leica 3A. Now let's compare again. So the Leica 3A is less tall, it's less wide, and it's very slightly longer, and it's lighter. This is lighter than this. So now you've got a Leica which is far better built, much more beautiful to operate and to look at in every respect, lighter, and what most people don't realise is these cameras are cheaper than the Leica CL in most situations. This is Leica 3A, the Leica 3C and the Leica 3F are probably the most popular, and you should be able to find them for less than the cost of a Leica CL. The Leica 3G is an exception because that's more expensive, because there were fewer made. I can link some of these videos above. So, why would I buy a Leica CL instead of a Leica Barnack Leica or Leica 3 camera, or Leica 2 or Leica 1? Only one reason. This is better in every respect. I'll try and be fair. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that they cost the same. Say you found a mint one of these, which costs £300, and you found a very good one of these, also £300. So then we can rule out the cost. Weight-wise, if you don't care about weight, we can rule out the weight. If you do, get a Leica 3. Size-wise, if you want a very slightly smaller camera, get a Leica 3, but there's not much in it, to be honest. So, which camera is better? If you want to critically focus your pictures, get the Leica 3. The rangefinder is absolutely far superior in every respect, even though it's the vintage split window so type of viewfinder, rangefinder viewfinder, so much clearer. 1930s and it's still better, so hats off to the engineers from the 1930s. Good work, guys. If you want to critically focus your images, get the Leica 3. If you're stopping your photos, your lens down to f8 anyway, you can get either camera. We can rule out that critical focus aspect. The Leica Barnack Leicas only have 50mm frame lines built in. This one has 40mm, 50mm and 90mm frame lines. It shows you 40 and 50 through the viewfinder, and when you attach a 90, the 90 frame lines will appear also. So if you only shoot 50s, the older Leicas are very good. If you're one of the few people that loves 40mm lenses, you will like this because it's got the built-in 40mm frame lines. If you like 90mm lenses, you will like this because it's got the 90mm built-in frame lines. And the frame lines, the viewfinder is clear. The viewfinder is much clearer, but the rangefinder is poor. This viewfinder is poor, but the rangefinder is excellent. If you're using wider lenses than 40mm on this CL and 50mm on the Leica 3A, you'd use a hot shoe viewfinder. In this situation, if I was using wider than what the frame lines were in the camera, I would probably choose the Leica 3A camera because it's smaller and more beautiful and just nicer to use. What is the downside about there's 2 downsides from the vintage Leicas. There's one obvious one. You may or may not be aware of it. If you've only got Leica M lenses and say you've only got one Leica and it's a digital Leica and you want to buy a film Leica, if all your lenses are M mount for your M10, M240, whatever, you cannot buy a Barnack Leica, a Leica 3 camera, because these are thread mount, Leica Thread Mount lenses. It's a different mount, so your lenses will not fit this camera. See, threaded. So if you've got only modern Leica M mount lenses, whether they're made by Leica or Zeiss or Voigtlander or whoever, none of those lenses will fit this camera. That's a bit of a bummer. That's the situation I had when I bought this camera. So then I went back and I love the camera so much that I bought lenses for it after buying the camera. I already have Leica M mount lenses, so this is much better. Well, if you've got Leica M mount lenses, the only cheap option to buy a camera to mount your lenses on is to get either the Leica CL or to get a Voigtlander Bessa. They're the two most common ones. There might be a few lesser known ones. I'll probably do some more specifics on the Voigtlander Bessa in the blog review for the Leica CL, because there's a strong argument to get the Voigtlander Bessa R3A instead of the Leica CL. I have the R3A as well. That also has 40mm frame lines, 50mm frame lines, 90mm frame lines. But again, there's pros and cons of both. So I'll put that into the mrleica.com blog about the Voigtlander Bessa. But if you've got M mount lenses and you want to shoot film, you need to probably get either the Leica CL or a Voigtlander Bessa. There's different Bessas available. So to summarise the Leica CL, it's an excellent camera, particularly if you already own Leica M lenses. If you don't already own Leica M lenses and you just want a small Leica, I would highly recommend checking out the vintage Barnack Leicas, the Leica 3 cameras. You can buy them for less money than the Leica CL on eBay, and just look for one in good condition. If I've not already linked it, to check out the review of my Leica 3 versus Leica M review. It might give you some more information on the Leica 3. Other than that, great camera, just not for portraits and not for precision photography. If you always stop down, I would recommend it, giving it a go. It's not expensive in Leica terms and it should hold its value, so if you don't like it, you can always sell it. I hope you found that useful, and should get ready for, I have another model coming soon, so goodbye from Romania, and talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching.